Uh, Hello everyone, Assalamu alaikum. I'm Tawfiq Rahman and welcome to my presentation on a critical aspect of uh, academic integrity and social responsibility. And today I'll be discussing the group institution in research, uh, where research is rarely solo journey. It involves um, ecosystem of stakeholder including cultural groups, public institutions, and private enterprises. Main objective of this video, and throughout this video, I'll be explore how we can protect the rights of diverse stakeholder and maintain ethical independence and ensure that research serves the greater public good while navigating the challenges of modern collaboration. And I'm going to change my slide here, and which is um, a core ethical foundation. And moving forward, and let's discuss the foundational pillars of ethics in research. Our core mission is built upon three main principles, and number one is respect for stakeholder. First, we must protect the rights of interest of every organization and group involved in study. And after that, we have equity and inclusivity. And second, we ensure fairness by actively including diverse voices, and which is ultimately enhances the impact of our research. Third, which is the just environment. Third, we prioritize the valuing marginalized perspective to ensure uh, to ensure that the outcomes of our research benefit society as whole, um, not just a select few. The key challenges are, however, maintaining this standard is not always easy. We face two primary challenges. Number one, navigating conflict of interest and addressing the ethical dilemmas. After this slide ends here, and we are moving towards the research disadvantage and vulnerable group. Who are the disadvantaged and vulnerable group? And those who are unable to raise their voice. Those are the vulnerable groups. And but what who exactly they are? Um, these are population facing insignificant social, economic, and health-related hurdles, and this includes individuals like the homeless, refugee, the elderly in isolation, children from low-income families, and people with disabilities. Mandatory ethical safeguards are because these groups are at a higher risk. We must implement four mandatory ethical safeguards. Number one, prioritize their dignity. First, the study must never further marginalize or harm the participant in any way, and we need to get a informed consent, which is a very most important thing, and 100% voluntary, meaning it is a completely free from pressure or financial incentives. And then we have individual autonomy. Consent must be obtained directly from the individual, not just from community leader or a group head. And last, which is the inclusive protection. Finally, our safeguard should protect these individuals without silencing or um, excluding their voices from the research. And then we have the the next script, which is cultural groups and respect for differences. In this slide, now let's talk about the cultural groups and respect for differences. Our primary goal is here, which is the value diverse cultural background and ensuring that our research methods are sensitive to local norms and belief. Challenges to research quality: if we fail to culturally sensitive, we face three critical challenges to our research quality. First one in interpretation bias. This happens when questions are understood differently depending on the cultural context, which leads to bad data. And then we have a social desirability, and where participants might provide an answer based on their cultural consider polite rather than sharing what they actually think. And the last, which is the non-verbal, of course, we must also be careful not to misread body language or a facial expression, as this can lead to completely incorrect conclusions. And we're going to move further, uh, which is the cultural heritage and the public transparency. In this section, we discuss the cultural heritage and public transparency. As researchers, we must act as an ethical steward of history. This involves three main responsibilities. Number one, the preservation versus research. We must ensure that economic study never comes at the cost of damaging historical artifacts or tradition. And reputation, we uphold ethical standard by returning artifacts to their rightful communities. A famous example being Benin bronzes. And the prevention of exploitation, we must meticulous documentation to stop illegal trade and the looting. The transparency in public institutions is the furthermore transparency in public institution is essential for maintaining the integrity of our work, and we achieve this through open data analysis, open data access, and ethical management and community trust. After that, we have the ethical responsibility of private enterprise, and in this, this is often delicate the balancing act between proprietary interest and social welfare. While companies have a right to protect their innovation, they also have a duty to serve the public good and navigating the framework. As you can see in the diagram, this balance is managed through four key pillars: protecting IP and innovation, responsible for data sharing, and the public health benefit, and the fair access policies. Uh, After that, we have, I think, we slightly missed one, which is in this slide, we can have a real life example. In the pharmaceuticals industry, companies share the clinical trial data to ensure drug safety and uphold medical ethics. And in digital governments, platforms like Meta provide a social media data to researchers and studying misinformation and the digital democracy. And then we have commissioners, funders, and the collaborators. And in this slide, we can have commissioners. Those who are commissioners, they request the project and define the objectives, and the funders, those who are fueling the project, and collaborators, those are the co-researcher, analysts, and experts contributing the data, and the multidisciplinary skills. Safeguarding the independence, research independence, the core principle, and this one has to be the core principle. Now we come to the fundamental pillar of our work, safeguarding research independence. The core principle here is simple: independence is the foundation of credibility. Without it, the public loses the trust in research fundings. And the threat to autonomy. To protect this independence, we must first recognize that threat to autonomy that researchers often face: external pressure, internal demand, and distortion. And the protection strategies we have: the ethical funding models, the legal safeguards, professional boundaries, and stakeholder responsibility. After that, we have the role of the research institution, and the role of the research institutions, mainly research institutions act as a guardians. Their primary job is to ensure that every project align with both scientific and ethical norms, especially when under public scrutiny. Mm, core institutional function are protective shield and ethical contracting and skill switch, and the social balance and the golden rule is here. There is one non-negotiable rule, which is the researcher must retain the right to publish their finding independently. Then we have responsibility of commissioners. Um, Funders must ethical obligation. To maintain integrity, there are the four key action of funder must take. Number one is disclosure funding sources. Number two is understand research ethics. Number four is respect research independence, and the number four is the enable honest presentation. And funders must not the dictate methodologies, cherry pick data, predetermine conclusion, and suppress the result. Then we have the ethical framework for collaborative project. As you can see in our framework diagram, and ethical collaboration happens in the intersection the three major stakeholder. Number one, the researcher and funders. Their partnership must focus on accountable funding to ensure research remains unbiased. And the researcher and stakeholder, their interaction requires deep community. And the center point at the heart all this interaction is ethical collaboration and the research integrity. The key principles for collaborations are share responsibility, stakeholder integration, and the formalized agreement. Last but not the least, and which is the building the public trust. And our goal is to build the public trust, and which is honest analysis and the transparent reporting. And a core pillar of this stage, the right to publish, researcher must maintain the absolute freedom to publish their findings, regardless of whether the results are deemed positive or negative. And upholding integrity. Um, Now, to ensure the highest level of integrity, we must follow this strict rule: no suppression of data, transparency on honesty, and peer review integrity. And by following these principles, the part of the project to its final publication will ensure that research remain the powerful and trusted tool for societal progress. Thank you for your time again. I'm Tofik Roman, and this is the part of my presentation. Hope you guys like it.